Good afternoon, everybody. It is April 12th, and it is another session of YouTube and Facebook Live together. So, trying to see if we can continue doing Facebook Live, YouTube Live all at the same time. So, YouTube has a little more latency than Facebook does, so it takes just a second to configure Facebook, and then YouTube catches up to that. So, I see everything is working fine this time. Last week, if you tuned in, you saw that we had the first successful time of getting Facebook Live and YouTube Live to work together. And it finally worked out after several fails and technical equipment issues and other other stuff. It worked out. What I do see, and that's something that's on the agenda to talk about today, is embedding live video in external websites. So I actually do have this stream embedded in my website, and I'm looking at it as I talk, and the embed is not working, but the placeholder images. So afterwards, we're going to figure out what is wrong with that because I wrote up a guide about embedding live video. So we're going to talk about today some recent press and PR fails, and I bet you know who we're going to talk about and what company we're going to talk about. There's two of them, stellar press fails, social media fails. That's how we're going to talk about it, from the social media aspect. Their marketing and decision making is their own issues, which I'm not going to get too much into, but I'm going to talk about social media, how it was handled. So I hope you checked out last week's entrepreneur.com article that I wrote, and it was about tech leaders and their business and success tips. It's actually one of 4 in a series of articles or videos that I have up. I'm gonna move over. I'm looking at the Facebook live stream. And it's a little bit off center. I'm trying to make the background nicer, and it's part of the video, so I'm a little off. So I hope you checked out that article. I have 4 videos up. That's the first in the series. I don't actually know what the dates are on the other 3, so I got to check in there. But I hope to be doing a collaborative video coming up shortly. Welcome Toastmasters. So I know there are a few Toastmasters on the page now because I had an article in Toastmasters magazine for the month of April. So it's the current issue of Toastmasters. And what we did is an interview, and I talked about how I got to where I am and digital marketing and how one thing led to the next. And it's an interesting story of building yourself up. Not a ton of detail in there, so if you want to know more, you could always leave me a message, shoot me an email through the website. But welcome, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. You know that wording, and I'm psyched that you're here today, and I hope you tune in more. So this is streaming live on Facebook. I'm checking out on the live stream here, and it's also streaming from my YouTube channel at the same time. It is not working off the website right now, so let's see what's wrong with there. We talked last week about different ways to stream to 2 places at one time, and that was really about software. So we talked about BeLive TV, Wirecast, and a few other apps that can be used for streaming to 2 places at once. And Facebook, it's against Facebook's terms of service to use their live stream elsewhere, so you have to have 2 original streams going on. What's the consensus right now? So we have like 3 different sites trying to figure this out. So we're working on it together, a collaborative effort. And right now, what everyone's doing who's streaming to more than one place at a time, they're using 2, 3, up to 5 different cameras at the same time. It's fine for the cameras, but it can make the sound a little bit poor quality. So that's something you have to work on. If you're going to get into more than one camera, you probably have to get into jacking the sound up to, hey, how you doing? I thought you were in Albany. Why are you here on Facebook Live? And so that's something to consider. I think that one of the most important aspects of video, live video, scripted video, any kind of video, is sound quality. And even though we accept lower quality in video, meaning we can stream or record things from smartphones, we don't have to have fancy sets or very professional looking videos going on. It's important that the sound is quality. You have to be able to hear the speaker. Even if they're adding subtitles to the bottom of the video, the sound quality is one of the most important aspects of any video. So let's talk about press fails this past 2 weeks. We have 2 stellar examples of how to screw up social media and your own press. The first was Kylie Jenner and Pepsi. If you haven't seen the video, you can just Google that. The ad's been pulled down. It was Kylie Jenner walking out into a crowd and offering a police officer a Pepsi that makes everything better, even though you have rioting, upset, wronged citizens, and it was a didn't name it, but it was clearly about the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't want to say movement, but issues, and it minimalized people's causes and concerns by saying that we could just all solve it with a can of Pepsi. It's a huge fail. It's a fail on the marketing department to think that they could somehow work their brand into this cause. They actually have nothing to do with it. So that's one of the critical fails in this social media fail. It's social media because that commercial was actually scheduled to go on TV, and I don't think it actually made it to TV. It was pulled right away because of the backlash that they got on social. So what happened is they didn't have the right people in the room when they chose to make that commercial, and they should have never been in that in the first place. Why? Because they have nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, and neither does Kylie Jenner. She's not aligned with human rights or any kind of charity work at all that I know of. So she was a poor choice, but it was a poor topic for the brand to go with. And it just should have never been. So a bad marketing decision from the beginning. How did they respond on social when they got a storm on them? They actually they responded pretty well. So they pulled the ad. It canceled all its TV. They pulled it down off of social and owned it, and they apologized. They made a bad choice. They owned their bad choice and removed all of it because it's something that they could reverse. It's the right way to respond to a social media crisis or storm. There's a few other words that we have for it, but I'm not going to say it on video. So they did a marketing campaign completely wrong. They did a social media response as best as they could, and that's really what it amounts to. It's as best as you could. Our other complete nightmare going on is you've probably seen United Airlines social media spread video of the passenger being dragged off the airplane, which is absolutely horrifying to watch. And I can say I'll never fly United. I never really did, but I definitely will stick to my American Airlines. It's a disaster all over the place. From this is their company policy that the seats were for employees, that they didn't, it should have been company policy wise, it should have been stopped. The plane should never have been boarded like that. But I don't want to get into their policy. We're talking about it from a social media aspect. So how do you handle that? Obviously not as well as Pepsi handled their problem. You can't really compare the two issues. One is a marketing campaign that was a super poor choice. The other is a human rights violation, right? So they're not comparable incidents, but we do want to talk about social media and the response to it. The CEO getting on Twitter and saying he supports the employees, he comes across as he's kind of okay with what happened, and that's where the issues just begin. His word choice is horrible, his attitude is horrible, and he seems to justify it, but then goes on like it doesn't end with there, and he finally comes in with a very half-hearted false sounding apology once their stock drops 2 days or yesterday, sort of apologizes, but it's still insincere at that point. So he's a great example of how not to respond. So what do? If you're going to be on social media and you're going to grow your following, you get a bigger following, you have to have a policy in place to handle situations like these. Social media plays into your customer service, and if you get big enough and you have a big enough social following and a big enough budget to support a team, you must have a pre-existing PR crisis policy. So when things happen, and they will happen, you respond appropriately and authentically and sincerely. this, of course, is all contingent on you actually caring, and I hope you do care, that you're in business in an industry that you enjoy, you love, and you're sincerely interested in serving your customers. I got a lot of questions about United where they really care at all. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently Air Emirates responded to United and jabbed them back for a previous comment. So I haven't Googled that commercial yet, but. So you need to have this policy in place of who's going to respond, how they're going to respond. Have a very experienced and competent social media team in place that knows when it's appropriate, what they can say, how they say it, and then when they need to turf it off to a higher decision maker when it's getting bad. So it's a matter of experience and then competence in social media, and brands definitely should have a pre-existing policy in place, and everybody who's involved in responding on social needs to understand what to do and when to do it. The biggest factor here is transparency. But you screwed up, you've got to own it. And apologize for what's wrong, recognize what's wrong, and own what you did. And that's the most important part in a social media crisis. So policy, pre-existing policy, the right team in place, and then your chain of command are the best things that you can do for your social media PR crisis. So enough of that. Those two were unbelievable stellar fails. There have been some other incidents, but neither of the caliber of United Airlines. It's like actually unbelievable to watch that, and it's still carrying on today. I've been understand the details of how could they have done that. It's hard. Alrighty, so today we're back to 2 live streams, and I've learned a lot about live streaming. If you watch my Toastmasters Club page, which is professionally speaking, you see that we've been live streaming from events. So we've actually been going out to different club contests, and we were actually at our division level contest just Monday night, and we live streamed from there again. We had a club meeting yesterday, which we didn't do a live stream because we had some stuff going on and a visit, and it wasn't possible yesterday. But what we've seen is that we're getting a lot of people who are interested in the page, who are liking it, and what we see at the actual live event we're actually drawing a crowd. So we had a lot of fun with the first one. We were just goofing around at an area contest, and we did a live stream before, and then we did a live stream after the contest with the winners. And then at the the division contest Monday night, we tried to do a very short one beforehand, and then we cut out of the live stream, and then one of the contestants, who was actually the second in the world winner last year, just sort of walked over. So we interviewed him real quick, but it was just a 2-minute stream, and then we interviewed him again at the end. So what have we learned? It's very important to have the location data turned on in the live stream. That means what are you saying, Steve? The audio on YouTube Live sounds a bit better than Facebook Live. Yes, absolutely. And that's because the Facebook live stream is going through the Plantronics headphone, which I love this headset. I use it on some of my other YouTube channel, pintalk.net. If you look at my Pinterest specific website and the videos there on that YouTube channel, if I'm doing a screen share, this is always the microphone that's being used. And I've done this microphone and the other microphone I have, the lavalier, in a video where I talk about how to get your first YouTube video up. I go through the equipment. And this is a headset that I always use if there's something going on screen. So right now, the 2 streams it's a webcam from my laptop, which is right in front of me, and that's streaming to YouTube. And then my smartphone is what's actually streaming to Facebook. So there's 2 different sounds. So the sound to Facebook is actually just going through the smartphone, and it's not mic'd at all. What I have to work on is I do have a lavalier that I use for my YouTube scripted videos. It doesn't have a connector, which is a 3.5 millimeter jack to Facebook. So it has a different sound because that's just from the smartphone mic. So I've got to actually mic my lavalier to the smartphone for the future. But I think I actually have to buy a whole new lavalier because the connector on the end doesn't fit. It's a connector that's for an external recorder. Totally a different conversation, but I will make that into a YouTube video where I show you about the different connectors. I don't know a ton about mics, but the mic that I use for YouTube is actually I've said this so many times to so many people and recommended it. It's a Sony ECM77B. I love the microphone, and it's one that I bought. It's a lavalier. You'll see it in all my MetroNY YouTube videos, the recent ones, so the past about year of videos. And I bought that mic because it was recommended to me. I went to the YouTube studios in Manhattan, and I went to them and asked them, what do you guys use? Because I didn't know what to buy, and that's what they use for YouTube studios. So that I bought the exact same thing, about $240 for that microphone. Really nice quality. So that's the difference you hear. This Plantronics mic is actually a customer service microphone. So if you're calling into a call center, it's likely that you're getting one of these models. It has a really nice sound as well, but you can, if I'm doing a screen share video and you hear a difference in sound when I switch to a screen share, it's because I've switched mics from the Sony to the Plantronics, and they have a different sound. All the mics have a different sound, and you have to pick one that you like. So back to two live streams. Webcam off the laptop is what's streaming to YouTube Live right now. Smartphone is streaming to Facebook Live on mic, Plantronics mic on the YouTube. Two cameras, that's the way it's been going. So issues with the software that we are investigating for doing live streams, they get expensive really fast. You see a couple of them charging for different users because we wanted to multi-stream. So not only do we want to stream to two different channels, like one to Facebook, one to YouTube, we wanted to have more than one speaker talking on each of the videos, so the cost jacks up pretty fast. And one of them seemed to even be charging extra money for the number of participants or commenters, viewers who actually come into the Facebook stream. So, and that's not something we can control. We're looking to use this on bigger pages that have, 4,000 or 5,000 followers. When you start charging, 15 cents per user to who participates, it gets expensive really fast. So it wasn't doable. And so still using two cameras. And I do kind of see this as a consensus. I'm on a couple different Facebook pages about YouTube creators and video creators. And people do have software that they like, but most of them are going with multi-camera to do multi-streams because it's an initial cost of equipment that you own. You can reuse it for other stuff. I'm running a guide on embedding video. So this is the first time I've actually tried it. And to have use it for other stuff. I see it. Okay. So I have live video embedded on my website. So I just got it to work. I didn't realize. I'll put that link to my website on the Facebook page and on the YouTube page where you see we've embedded live video. So I wrote a guide on how to do that, and it includes embedding Facebook live video. It includes YouTube live video, and then Periscope. You can't embed Instagram live video. And so I thought I've been watching it to see if it would start, but it didn't. But so I see that I actually have to hit the play button. I'm learning, right? And I'm showing you all these, like fails or screw ups because I want you to learn along with me and see that everyone's got the same questions as you. And so this has been a really common question that I keep getting through emails and from my clients is, we want to repurpose content. We want to repurpose blog posts and videos and stuff we write or reviews that we get from customers. We want to get more mileage out of that. So this reusing and repurposing the live videos has been a really hot topic over the past month. And so I've stuck to video. So I've got it working. I'm psyched, and it's going live on the page in front of me. I just have the volume killed because it interferes with the microphone, so I can hear the live stream here and while I'm talking. Another product that I'm working on right now, it's a friend of mine has a new startup company, and they have this product. It's an app called Banana Splash. So I've been recommending to a few people. It is running right now on my website, MetroNY.com. So Banana Splash, or Monkey Mail, is meant to capture email addresses for your website. So you want to build a customer list. Email marketing, as we know, historically has always been the highest conversion rate of any kind of online marketing that you can do. So the more emails we get them on a list, then we can keep talking to our potential customers or past customers and then sell them something, but we are adding value and credibility to our own company by continuing to email them. An issue came up with Google and search engine optimization where Google said, hey, if you're going to have pop-ups that get in the way of content, then you're going to get penalized as far as search engine optimization goes. And so pop-ups went away on websites if they were concerned about their SEO campaigns. Banana Splash solves that problem for us. I've been working on it. I've been on a 10-day trial. They've extended it for me, and it really has improved email conversions on my website. I do have a little bit of integration problems, right? It integrates my email provider is MailChimp, but is having a little bit of trouble with that, but they have been really good about helping me and trying to get it working. So as soon as I hop off this video, which is going to be another minute, I'm going to go and see how that's doing and where we're at with the updates. So Banana Splash, which has actually been rebranded, I think, to Monkey Mail as of last night, is something that I'm going to talk about, and I'll probably do a YouTube video on it and a review of it because I really like it and it's kind of fun and easy to use, and it made such a profound difference in my email signups. I think it's worth it, so I'll recommend it to a few. So I'll have a lot of data from several sites of how it's working out. So that's what we've covered today. Is Check out my entrepreneur article on SEC leaders and success tips, business tips. It was pretty interesting. I talked to eBay, Uber, and Shopify employees about their success tips. There's 3 more videos on my YouTube channel, MetroNY.com, and I put that link under the last YouTube live video. Next Wednesday, Facebook Live looking a little iffy. So there won't be a YouTube Live next Wednesday because I'll be down in Philadelphia and I'm going to see a speaker, which is the mayor of Philadelphia. I plan on doing Facebook Live from the event, and I'm not sure exactly what my plan is and who else I'm going to bring into the live video, but I hope to make it multi-speaker. I still have to arrange who's going to be with me. Really doubt that I'm going to get the mayor of Philadelphia to talk, but hey, you never know. So I'll be mobile with Facebook Live. If you know YouTube broadcast or YouTube Live, can't do them from mobile unless you have 10,000 subscribers on the channel, which I don't. So there will not be a YouTube Live because I'm not dragging my laptop with me downtown. But you'll see it on Facebook Live, and I'll be down in Center City, Philadelphia at it's actually the Jewish Business Network. They do a monthly speaker series. Been some great speakers there. So we're going to see the mayor, and then the month after that, they have I think this executive director of the Philadelphia airport. Wouldn't we like to talk to him? So he'll have some hot button issues to answer as well. So signing off. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on Facebook only next Wednesday, which will be the 19th. In the meantime, I'm taking the week off from blogging and video creation because I gotta get my taxes done. This is the latest I've ever been. See you later.